Welcome to part 2. If you didn't watch first part, go watch it. This is my true story, and everything I'm about to say actually happened to me. That morning, after the terror of the night, my mother told me something new, something she'd never mentioned before. A small detail, but one that shifted my entire perception. She told me that thing had also happened to her mother, my grandmother. My mind reeled. What? Why? Was this some kind of generational affliction? A curse? The idea was unsettling, but quickly dismissed. I'd heard stories, sure, but the idea of a family curse felt like fantasy. But then the details emerged. My grandfather, a man who believed deeply in things I considered folklore, black magic and witches. He'd been sick of whatever was tormenting my grandmother. He'd sought help. He'd visited a white mage in the village, a white witch you might call her, or perhaps a druid, basically an old woman, a healer, who sold teas and weeds and all sorts of natural remedies. This began to sound like something out of an old tale, a rural myth, but this was my mother telling me, and she was recalling her own mother's experience. This white druid, this old grandma, told my grandmother to hold a piece of wheat, a single straw in her hand when she slept. And she said that thing, whatever was attacking her in her dreams, was actually a real witch, a witch that could transform into invisible forms, and for some reason, specifically target people while they were asleep. As my mother recounted this, my body started to crawl again, a new kind of dread, one that mixed the visceral fear of my experience with the unsettling world of ancient beliefs. My grandmother, skeptical but desperate, tried it. She fell asleep with that piece of wheat held tight in her hand, and suddenly, as the druid had predicted, that witch was trapped in the wheat. The old woman's words echoed in my mother's retelling.
It will transform into all types of creatures. Don't let it go. Hold it tight, and it will show you who it is.
My grandmother, terrified, prayed to God, begging for it not to transform into a snake, her deepest fear. And then it began. The witch, trapped in the wheat, transformed into various random creatures. Finally, it shifted into a human head, and then it simply disappeared. The druid had said that if you saw who it was, it would be so ashamed, it would avoid you forever. The next day, my grandmother went to work, still shaken. At lunchtime, a colleague approached her, a woman with 4 eyes, as my mother described her, referring to the woman's glasses, and this colleague said, quietly, urgently, "Please, don't tell anyone that was me. I won't ever come back to you." My grandmother just continued eating, a subtle hand movement signaling the woman to leave. She never spoke of it again, never confirmed or denied the accusation. Hearing this new layer to the story from my mom, I was left with a barrage of questions. Was any witch from the village angry at me? Was this specific, or was it random? Could it really be a witch? It sounded like such a stupid fiction. But it had happened to me. It had been real, and the details of my grandmother's story, as outlandish as they sounded, strangely aligned with the visceral reality I had just endured. The hum intensifies slightly, then fades out completely. As religious as I am, it felt easier, in a strange way, to believe in demons attacking me than in witches and druids. That, at least, fit within a framework I understood. I considered going to a priest, and as fate would have it, a few days later, a priest actually came to our home. He was there to buy wine. We traditionally make our own. The timing felt almost divine. I told him my story, the whole thing. He listened, and then he smiled, a slight, almost amused smile. I stopped. Wait, why would a priest smile at a story like that? He's a man of God. He works for the church. He must know about demons. He then told me a story of his own, about visiting homes for certain occasions, to bless with holy water. And there was a woman, he said, who also had demon problems, but she described seeing a little fluffy hairy ball with horns, and she told the priest, "You see, he's hiding behind the bed, because you're here with the cross. He's scared." And the priest had laughed, he said, while recounting that story to me. Then I realized, this priest, for all his vestments and his position, didn't really believe in God that much, or in demons. was just there for the job. I guessed, for the money. God forgive me for thinking that, but it felt true in that moment. He did, however, offer a solution. He told me to come to church next weekend. He would read a prayer for me if I truly thought I was possessed or attacked by demons. And I went. I believed it would save me from demons, or whatever those things were that wouldn't let me sleep at night. He read the prayer, and that day, I felt happy, lighter. I thought I had gotten rid of them. My mom just said, "I hope you're done with it. God bless you." That was second part. Stay tuned for the next part.